Our coverage of the 2025 NCAA Men's Water Polo Championship continues here from Stanford, California. We're on campus at the Avery Aquatic Center, joined by the longtime head coach John Abdu. Greg Meskel joining you for the second of 4 quarterfinals on the day. And up next, John, one that folks have circled since the brackets dropped, the 4-seed Fordham taking on San Jose State. These two met earlier in the year. It was a 1-goal win for the Rams right here in Northern California. As we take a peek at the bracket, USC is through, slowing down a surprise Concordia team that put together an excellent first quarter before the Trojans pulled away. So that's one half of our bracket here. Winner will meet USC tomorrow. And then coming up later on today, UCLA Princeton and Stanford and UC Davis. But we talk Fordham, San Jose State, two squads loaded with international flair, coaches that played at a high level. In that first meeting, they seem fairly evenly matched. I know I'm excited to see what we get from these two today.
If there was a game on the schedule this weekend that had Pick'em next to it, it'd be this one. We don't know the outcome of this one. Incredibly uncertain who's going to come through. And anytime you're in a quarterfinal situation, when you have 8 teams competing in a championship format, like we're seeing here on the screen, it's usually that 4-5 matchup. That's this case. That's close. No one knows where this is going to go. Both teams had great regular seasons, each automatically qualified for the NCAA tournament. We're in for a high-powered, high-energy match right now, Greg.
Fordham back in the NCAAs for the 5th straight year out of the Mid-Atlantic. They defeated George Washington 16-9 in their final, 25-3. They went 12-0 in league play. Not quite the record they had coming into the NCAAs last year. They were undefeated coming in to the NCAA championship tourney, made it to the semis before they lost to USC in overtime. Had a lot of key personnel move on from last year's team. They've added some important people for head coach Brian Bacharach in his 7th year as the head man. Conversely, for San Jose State under Gabor Sharushi, they're back for the 2nd time in 3 years. This has been a process for the Spartans. They, remember, brought the program back in 2015. It hadn't existed for decades. There's a storied history going back to the 70s of San Jose State men's water polo. They bring it back and have been building towards becoming a tourney team again. So they made it 2 years ago, and now they're back here again out of the WCC. They defeated California Baptist 15-9. They're 14-7 on the year, 5-1 in the WCC. And it's, again, two teams that have been building towards a moment like this. Fordham has had, I think, the higher profile coming in based off of last year. There's expectations. They're certainly the favorite in a closely matched matchup, if you will. But San Jose State has the horses.
They absolutely have the horses, and they also have almost like a home crowd, home game feel here. They're going to have buses of students, alumni. San Jose State not too far here from Palo Alto, California, where we are today for this game, and you're starting to see a lot more blue and gold in the stands right now. Spartans coming in to be a part of this game today. And you mentioned that history of the program. You're going to have some real alums, people who care a lot about that program. They did so much to bring it back into the fold in 2015. They care about this program. They want to see it thrive. President of the university here, athletic directors, everybody cheering on San Jose State in this game.
We're here at Stanford, great venue for water polo. Sometimes you see this shot and think, who's there? There's two big sections of bleachers. A lot of folks stay on the shady side. The sunny side is the last to fill up. So there's a lot of folks behind us here cheering on both of these teams. And as we get set to get this one going, our officials in this one, Ross Spirito Santo, Jen McCall. Your starters for Fordham in the cage, and Matthew Bonello Dupuis. That was one of the big turnovers. Thomas Larcari was a veteran last year. He graduated to Balash Berigny. Andras Toth, who's just on fire this year, 129 goals. Luca Silvestri, Barnabas Epa, Luca Provenziani, and the freshman Alessandro Salapante for the Rams out of the Bronx in New York City as they get started here, controlling and moving right to left on your screen.
And they were the story last year, right? So some momentum going that Fordham way because they were really the big story in NCAA water polo last year. But San Jose State coming on strong and definitely have the firepower to win this game.
Shot clock winding down, and there's a field block from the Spartans and the Whitecaps. They go with one of the best keepers in the college game, Brendan Yapyash, the WCC Player of the Year for San Jose State. Giancarlo Marquez, Laszlo Sieben, Sam Keatley, Shamu Birosh, Eric Dusand, and Mateo Bosic, the group for Coach Sharushi here.
And that was Sieben to start with the field block there. How about Japiash?
Good look inside, but that ball squirts free. And taken away by Benelo Dupuy, the graduate student from Malta.
And you mentioned Malta. This is going to be a multicultural affair here in this quarterfinal matchup. Yes.
Toth now, they keep it on the perimeter. Salapante, and our first exclusion, and the Rams will go up on the extra man. Provenziani now along 2 meters. Salapante takes a peek inside, does Provenziani out high now, and score it on the 6-on-5 for Luca Silvestri.
Starting the game hot here, Marquez excluded for San Jose State. That's what gives Fordham the power play opportunity, and they capitalize on their first one. Get a second look here. Silvestri just fires it through the cage there. You're going to see, we already mentioned Malta, and we will be saying the country of Italy often when we reference this Fordham roster as well. Silvestri, one of the Italians on this team who've represented their country internationally, but also made the move to New York to play for the Rams.
These two met back on October 26th in San Jose. It was a 10-9 win for Fordham. Really a tale of two halves there. Spartans up 5-3 at intermission. Fordham uses a 4-2 third quarter to build a lead. Shot clock here to 7 now. And from the outside, good piece of shooting from Birosh.
Wow. Double fist pump into the crowd. Birosh gets his first bucket of the game. San Jose State on the board, and you can hear the Fordham coaches yelling, knock him down, knock him down. No one knocks him down. Gives him a free look at the cage with no blocker. Birosh makes him pay.
And for someone who now has 56 goals on the year, that's far too much territory. It's a 1-1 game early.
You see the Fordham bench jumped up, said, where are you guys at? Go knock down. Can't give shooters like Birosh that kind of space, and I think defense is going to be the key to this game, Greg, on both ends. You know there's firepower all over, but who's going to be getting stops?
Yeah, who can slow down the offense here? Fordham is good for 19 goals a game on average coming in. Entry inside and taken by the Spartans. And it's back to Gapiash, the MVP of the WCC tourney. He piles up the saves, this guy. 20 saves the last time these two teams met. Birosh now. Here's Mitchell Keatley. Inside on the post, the dunk. Put it home, Sam Keatley.
Get him the ball. Keatley been doing it all year long for the Spartans. And watch the play here. They find him working inside, across the pool. Keatley, the frame that he has, 6'7", from Oceana. Look at him, you get a good look as he gets a break out there, but they will be feeding him the ball early and often in this game, Greg.
Just slipped away from his defender and was able to convert in a 2-1 lead for the Spartans, so 2 unanswered for the team coming from just down the 101 here. Mark Duke now has come on, a freshman from Germany. Silvestri cruising in along 2 meters. Back to Duke, shot clock to 2, and that's deflected out of field block by San Jose State.
You could just see the intensity on both sides here. There's going to be a lot of shots in this game. Let's see how many times we can call a field block or a save to try to slow down the offense.
Here's Keatley now, 4.5 to go in the first quarter. And for the first time, San Jose State will have the extra man. Power play here. That's Duke going off for the Rams. Mitchell Keatley, Birosh, they work it along 2 meters. Birosh out high. around the way, off the frame of the cage there on the Teozzo try. Rams recover, sides are even. Here comes Fordham. It's Silvestri now leading the charge. Defender on his back, and that's an exclusion. Teozzo sent off, and now Fordham will have their second extra man. Here's Provenziani from Rome. Toth. Provenziani. Silvestri on the skip, and Gapyash is all over it. And this Spartan bench electric here after that big save.
Yeah, and they're going to ride that energy. Similar to our first game with D'Souza and Concordia. You're going to see this from Gapyash. His whole team will ride his energy and his effort in this game.
And we've seen a couple of teams, their attack is built around the energy and the effort of their keeper. It makes sense. The team responds in kind. Final seconds, and not much doing there for Birosh as it goes high and away. Here's Toth now, sophomore. He's part of that big class of freshmen that came in last year that was just pure firepower for Fordham and vaulted them into the national conversation. A few fakes here, and Gapyash denies that Marco Napolitano try.
Yeah. One save and 5 screens and splashes back to the team after each one.
Count them up.
You know, San Jose State, that's what they're going to need here. You're going to need a lot of saves from Gapyash if they're going to allow the shooters of Fordham that much space.
2 stops already for Brendan Gapyash. Pressure now as we resume play. Provenziani calling out a play. Silvestri now, Provenziani left alone at about 7 meters. Silvestri drops it in the bucket, turn and fire, and covering up the Spartans. They had help from Birosh. That was a great look for Fordham.
Yeah, incredible look right on the doorstep, right at 1 meter. But you got to love when your offensive firepower like Birosh can also come back and play defense and cover the cage, help his goalie out. If San Jose State can play defense in this game, they have a great chance to come through.
Shot clock to 7. Good look across the way. Hitting inside, it's Sam Keatley.
Oh, Keatley waving to the crowd with his left hand. His second goal of the game, he got the first one in an overpass into his right hand. This one goes into his left. He made sure that everybody knows that was his left hand. You get a look here on the replay. Goes across into the left hand. Look at that. The old Shaquille O'Neal, right? Just making sure, hey, that was a left-handed layup, a left-handed dunk. Not my dominant hand as Birosh getting a rest here.
3-1 lead for San Jose State. A bit similar to their first meeting where it was the Spartans who were the aggressor offensively in that first half. That game was part of a gauntlet weekend in Northern California for Fordham. They took on Cal, Stanford, San Jose State, Long Beach State down in SoCal. They beat the Beach, lost to Stanford and Cal. Shot clock to 2. At a time here with 1 at the shot clock. The field block is there. Rebound comes right to Johnny Ferrugia. Teleponte thought about it again. Ferrugia. Ordinary. Teleponte and wave it off. First things first, an exclusion. Power play now. Teleponte measuring, gives off Ferrugia, open cage and hits.
Look at that. You see it. Look at his back.
I think he's been doing a little cupping therapy.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of the athletic training room, and it shows. Not only on his back, but he gets the fire in. Gapyash still gets a hand on there, trying to come back. But Fordham on the call, on the board.
Circle gets the square.
That is some intense cupping for sure. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done that before. That's when it's that dark. I mean, he spent some time on the mat.
I can barely be out in the sun. I wouldn't do cupping. It'd just be one giant mess. .105 to go here in the first. Offensive. It'll come back to the Rams. They have a chance to tie. The outlet here on the hand. Ferrugia looking for more. Cruising and hitting.
Wow.
3-3.
Ferrugia all the way from Malta, from the islands, in transition. Look at this. Not only does he get himself open, but he doesn't stop working. Stays on his legs, patient on his legs, driving it home. That type of effort, not easy as he gets a rest here after tying the game.
Big response there from Fordham. 3-3, under a minute to go in the first. Teozzo now. Where do the Spartans go for a response? This could help, an exclusion drawn. Dangerous pass and a takeaway. Aiming for Deucin on the perimeter. Instead, stepping in front is Andras Toth.
Yeah, Toth with the steal there, but more of a turnover for the Spartans. You got to make sure you're taking care of the ball here. It's those turnovers that'll lead to transition.
Here's Provenziani, sees a lane, puts his head down and goes. And a little extra on the ordinary. They said that foul was up around the neck. San Jose State in disbelief. We'll see a timeout from Fordham as they'll have the 6-on-5 here with just 8 seconds to play. Frustration from the Rams bench. Their air horn seemed to misfire and they wanted a timeout sooner.
You can hear Coach Sharushi yelling at his Spartans right now. Wake up, right? Can't turn the ball over and then give it back the other way. If you're Fordham, that's an early timeout, Greg. It's a tie game with 8 seconds left in the first quarter. That's usually a timeout you'd see with 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. You know, so maybe we'll see how that plays out if this is still a one-goal game in the fourth if you're burning timeouts in the first quarter.
This was the 32nd timeout. There's a look at Brian Bacharach, former national champ with the Cal Bears as a player. Joined Fordham 12 seasons ago now under the legend Bill Harris, and now is elevated to head coach. Year 7 here, leading Fordham. Final seconds in this first quarter. No look!
Wow.
That works! Napolitano!
Timeout and no time taken. The whistle blows and they took that shot early on here. Only a few seconds left and Napolitano goes straight over the head of Giappiash. Really caught him off guard, attacking early in that 6-on-5, and Fordham executes well off of the timeout.
So the misdirect in the Concordia game, right? You call it timeout, you think something to the very end of the clock, some sort of structured play. Instead, see it, shoot it. Last looks now for the Spartans. That's over the cage, and that's all for this opening quarter. 8 minutes that saw runs on each side. San Jose State goes in front 3-1, only to see Fordham battle back. They lead now 4-3, 3 unanswered for the Rams. We take a timeout and return to Stanford after this. San Jose State faithful making the short trip here to Stanford to cheer on the Spartans back into the NCAA tourney. Second time in 3 years out of the West Coast Conference, one of the most competitive leagues in the country, and they're up against one of the toughest teams in the land, Fordham. What a wild end, John, to that first quarter. So San Jose State goes up with 2 minutes to play in the quarter, 3-1 on a Sam Keeley goal.
Right.
In just 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the quarter, Fordham scores 3 times.
Wow.
Ferrugia goes back-to-back in the span of about 15 seconds, give or take, and then Napolitano with 4 seconds left.
And that's the kind of firepower that Fordham has, and we talked about this earlier. If somehow San Jose State can get stops and consistently get stops, and not just on the back of their incredible goalkeeper, Japiash, if they can get stops, they're going to win this game. If they allow Fordham to run this up to a 17, 18-goal game, they're going to have a hard time breaking through and winning.
1 second at the horn, save Japiash.
Yeah. And right on cue, you know he's going to get his saves, but can you also add some field blocks, some steals, some effort on defense? And we saw that early in the quarter, and they lost that 1 minute and 11 stretch there where Fordham took the lead.
Spartans trying to stop this run. Moving in and a field block.
That's Bereni with the field block there, and you know, Fordham showing that they can get stops and score goals right now.
Entry in, and that's Salapante pouring that pass inside, and an exclusion drawn by Barnabas Epa.
That's Sheehan on the exclusion. He was pretty heavy on that foul. Easy call for the official to make.
Provenziani loves to work from that 2-meter area. The entry in to Epa denied. But a reset. New shot clock for the Rams. Still on the advantage for the moment. Looking outside now. Silvestri, sides coming even. Up for grabs. Loose ball and stolen by the Spartans. Here's Sam Keatley. The exclusion against Fordham and Andras Toth. Spartans their third power play, looking for their first conversion. Bosic. Low skip, and that's outside the cage.
And that's a low percentage look for San Jose State. With the amount of firepower they have on offense, trying to get a right-hander to sneak it on the wrong side of the pool in, not the look they're looking for.
5.5 to go, first half. Salapante. It's Provenziani at 5 meters. He's tough. Two-goal lead, Rams.
A name we called often in this championship last year, Provenziani. Again, a lot of space, no one knocking him down. He's able to wind it up and hammer it near side. Japiash frustrated with his defense, knows he needs that help to go knock down. As Coach Bacharach happy now that his offense is settled in, getting the goals and the stops that they're looking for.
And now 4 in a row here from Fordham.
Yeah. And you get a sense of Coach Bacharach's style, right? As the camera zoomed in on him there, very stoic, really calm. You don't see his emotions go really high or really low through the course of the game. Kind of allows his assistant coaches to have that, and really important for a team to have that steady energy from their head coach, and it's why Fordham has had so much success in these championship situations.
So we'll get a simulation yellow card. Ball's coming out here. Here's a look at referee Jen McCall. That's the simulation warning here. They'll put the ball back in play. So the next one will lead to an exclusion.
Yeah, the effort to keep simulation out of this game. Also seen in football, soccer, right? And now an exclusion called.
So now an exclusion called against Fordham. And then a timeout from the Spartans. So that initial simulation warning going in San Jose State, Miles Suchet. Okay. So he takes that for everybody now.
Sure.
So anyone else on the Spartans that is found guilty of simulation, that call gets upgraded. You get it a 6-on-5.
Yeah, and for those out there listening, hey, well, what is simulation? Right, it's athletes trying to embellish or fake a foul or fake to get a call here. Referees trying to stay on top of that because it's so hard to see what's going on in the water anyway. And so oftentimes players try to, add some flavor.
Do you feel like this is the water polo equivalent of flopping?
Correct. Yeah, that's the way to describe it. Yeah, this is the flop. In football, soccer, you see sometimes you'll see that too, where people try to inside the box kind of flop, take a drop. But in water polo, it can come in a few different ways, right? Not just flopping. It can come in as if someone's grabbing you underwater, trying to show that maybe not be happening. Exclusions in transition.
Look here at the Spartans huddle. We talked to Coach Sharushi earlier this week, and the challenge of gearing up for your conference tourney. He said we did a great job preparing, getting in that kind of taper to be ready to perform at our best in Colorado Springs. They had to travel out to Colorado for their West Coast Conference tourney at Air Force.
That's right.
But then you come home, you have a 2-week gap. How do you ramp it back up for this huge quarterfinal game?
Yeah. Well, maybe got some altitude training up in Colorado Springs, the Air Force Academy. They do not seem winded here, but they do seem a little frazzled on offense and not necessarily getting the stops that they need as well. But perhaps why Coach Sharushi called that timeout, right, to make sure that even early in this game with lots of water polo to play, can they start to get a rhythm on their power plays.
Big chance here on the 6-on-5. They've allowed 4 unanswered. Under 5 to go. First half. Bosic now around the way. Birosh. Inside look. Bar out. Clean look. Rebound. Bosic. Tried to one-time it to the post. Looking for Mitchell Keatley. And instead Fordham is there by a fingertip.
I know it's early in the game, Greg, but that's a big stop for the Fordham Rams. Really just from a momentum standpoint to get the stop off the timeout.
Silvestri. Rams have had the answer on offense. Big defensive stop. Clock to 2. Ordinary, just about out of time. Spinning backhand wouldn't have counted. Shot clock sounded. A for effort will go not the other way. Hang tight. Coming back this way. It's an offensive foul in transition against the Spartans.
Yeah, tough offensive foul to take there for the Spartans because you got to stop, started moving the other way. Now Fordham has the chance to stretch this lead to 3.
And one offensive foul begets another. It's back to San Jose State. Under 4 to go, first half. Keatley, Birosh now marching in. That pass is tipped. A race for it. Good effort from Diego Treza. Shot clock to 2 now. At 1, let it fly, and it's wide of the cage from Keatley.
You heard that right. That's Keatley, the brother. One left-handed, one right-handed. As Fordham gives the ball right back to the Spartans.
Huge opportunity here. Turnover. Can they make something count? Inside, and they do. Giancarlo Marquez. Big response for San Jose State. And a yellow to the Fordham bench and in the direction of Brian Bacharach.
And again, you may not be able to see this on camera, but maybe you can hear it in the crowd here right above us, right above where Greg and I are sitting. You're hearing a large San Jose State contingency cheering for their team. almost a home game for San Jose State as they go. Turnover, offensive foul in transition is what happened there. Gets the ball to a very open Marquez. Anytime there's a contra foul, offensive foul in transition, you're going to give something up the other way. They do here, and it's a one-goal game.
16th goal for the junior from Canada. One of the big losses for San Jose State last year. Bense Zabo and Gabor Shrushi said, how do you replace that guy? You really don't. Marquez is one of the guys they plug in there. So think of him more as a defender, but he has a critical goal here. As we say that, Fordham has a 6-on-5.
That's Correa on the way out there on the exclusion.
3-minute mark, first half. Salaponte out high, Provenziani. Ferrugia inside, little bobble, and then a forced ball under. That's all Sam Keatley.
That's a tough ball for Epa to handle there from Ferrugia. Try to catch that, drops it. San Jose State now, you can feel a little bit of energy coming their way if they can continue to get stops like that.
And now an exclusion again. Spartans still struggling on the extra man. Fordham got that big stop moments ago. Dusand. He'll get it back here along 2 meters. Keatley. Diozzo deflected off the bar. Then the rebound to Mitchell Keatley. Entry inside now. Spartans underwater. The ball surfaces, and then there comes Sam Keatley. Another exclusion.
And Sam Keatley has drawn both exclusions on this extended possession for San Jose State.
Bosic. Keatley now along 2 meters. Bad pass there. It's going to allow Fordham time to recover. One coming back here for the Rams. Keatley. A knockdown there. Extra heavy from Provenziani. Ordinary as Birosh tries to control. Fordham will send folks the other way. Birosh, field block, and then some. What a thud from Toth.
Toth steps in for that field block, and now a 3-on-2 the other way for Fordham.
Provenziani, Spartans giving chase. Rams on the move. Provenziani. 6-4 Fordham. Defense leading to offense.
Provenziani, the recipient of the goal here in transition for Fordham, but it starts with Toth. Look at that. Rejected. Toth with the field block leads to Provenziani on the goal. And the untold story here in transition is when you are up in a power play advantage 6-on-5 and you give up a counter goal the other way, that means somebody was watching. There was not good transition defense there from San Jose State, and you could see Coach Shrushi screaming that out to his team. That's like in basketball, Greg, giving up a fast break bucket while people are shooting free throws. You know, that can't happen, right? Yep. You have the numbers, you have the advantage. You need to get back on defense.
Both coaches frustrated for different reasons right now. Brian Bacharach talking with the official Ross Spirito Santo there on the far side as we resume action. 1:21 to go. First half. Fordham has dug out of a 3-1 hole in front, 6-4 now. Birosh, save made. We haven't had to call his name often. Benelo Dupuis there with the stop. Rebound to San Jose State. That was Souchet controlling. Under a minute to play now, first half. Moving in and off target. Nothing there for Bosic.
Yeah, we haven't had to call Dupuis' name, although he made a great save there. He's been the recipient of some great field blocks from his defense, and San Jose State just missing the cage, missing the whole frame of the goal, which, again, unacceptable if you're trying to stay in this game.
Little no look there to Duke as he slides in near side. Provenziani, then exclusion. Gets it right back. Provenziani, point blank range, does not miss from there. He's got 3.
What a pleasure to watch this guy play water polo.
And now a minor act of misconduct against Brendan Japyash.
Provinciani scoring the goal here after drawing the exclusion himself. We see the extracurriculars now are hearing it after that goal, but Provinciani doing it all right now for the Fordham Rams.
And correction, they may have changed that to Mal Souchet. Those two were right near each other. And that is corrected. Yes, it is Souchet going off on the minor act. So that's a much better scenario short term there for San Jose State, even on offense.
Sure.
You don't want to have your goalie have to head out here. Shot clock off, 20 seconds remaining now. Second quarter. Rams have taken control of things here. All alone off the bar again. You've talked about some of the misses here, John. They're getting looks at the horn now, and Japyash pulls that down. He'll return fire. That was a close call. And you can see Benelo Dupuis telling his guys to pay attention here as that ball was coming in hot in the final seconds. That was a close call and a near goal. Other than that, everything coming up Fordham. In the end of the first quarter and throughout that second quarter, they lead 7-4 here in our second quarterfinal. Fordham down 3-1. They've turned that around. They're up 7-4. As we hit the break, we will step aside and return to Stanford after this. Halftime down on the farm here. Stanford University, our site for NCAA championship water polo. Fordham leading San Jose State 7-4 at the break. Let's take a look at highlights from our first two quarters. When they met last time, John, 10-9, Fordham wins, but San Jose State had the answer early. Spartans found their offense early on again in this one before Fordham responded in a major way.
And just went on a streak, right? Scored those 3 goals in a minute and 11 seconds in the first quarter, and then held San Jose State to 1 in the second while scoring 3 goals themselves. So really the story of the game here so far is Fordham can get stops. Along with their incredible offense, they're getting stops as you get a good look at all these highlight plays from the first half, and Ferrugio doing what he does best too. And it's just been an exciting game to watch so far. Good water polo, great offense, and great efforts on D.
You got to go back to that stretch where Fordham scores 3 goals in 1 minute and 11 seconds and really put a circle around that moment, because that's when they took some level of control of this match, and they have not relinquished it since, and they're combining now offense and defense. You're seeing the offense here. Guys like Luca Provenziani, 3 goals. Johnny Ferrugio with 2. They haven't even tapped into their most dangerous scorer, Andras Toth.
No.
The guy has, this is not a typo, 129 goals, which is insane for a team that is this highly ranked and this competitive. You see that sometimes in a team where only one person has to do everything, but not for a team that is competing at this level. And so that's what leaves them dangerous. Conversely, the Spartans, they found a little bit of the recipe here of what to do. They look at their shooting percentage and they say, goodness, we're 4-16 and we're getting clean looks. If some of those start to drop, things change for them.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but you hear coaches say all the time, can you just put the ball on frame? Put the ball on frame, and San Jose State actually hasn't done a great job putting the ball on frame. Give yourself a chance for rebounds. Give yourself a chance for the goalie to make a mistake. You got to get that ball in on the frame here, and they'll start the second half man down. Fordham with the power play.
Rams going left to right now on your screen. 6-on-5 here. Rams have a couple of conversions on the extra man. It's another area Spartans struggling, and they have not converted. Salaponte. There's Toth. That was on cue. 130 goals now on the year He had 3 last time they met, and adding to this Fordham lead now 8-4, the biggest gap.
He didn't like hearing you call him out like that, Greg. We were calling your name, Toth, in the first half, but it was for defense, now for offense. Field blocks, now gets his first goal of the game here in the second half. Such a dangerous scorer, but a all-around player there. And for San Jose State, not the start in the second half that you wanted. Could have taken this down to a 2-goal game. Instead, now a 4-goal lead for the Fordham Rams.
And this is not the team that you want to get in a goal-scoring battle with. We mentioned they average 19 goals a contest. Keatley. Dusand. Shot clock about to expire, and they don't even get it off. Bosic. No. And now Fordham attacking. Toth thought about it to Silvestri.
I mean, San Jose State just looks flustered on offense. Out of balance, out of whack. That is not the structure you're looking for in your front court offense.
Salaponte. Blocked. Yapyash. Just his 5th save. One of the top goalies in the college game. But a shot clock reset now for Fordham. 6:23 to play, 3rd quarter. 2 more matches to follow. UCLA Princeton up next. The host, Stanford, and UC Davis to close out our evening. And there's another save. So Yapyash puts a couple together here.
Yeah.
Now he'll charge up. Very Merrill Moses-esque there, firing up the pool with the ball. Birosh. Here's Bosic. Live arm, drops it off inside to Dusand. Draws the crowd and finishes. Eric Dusand out of Newport Harbor.
San Jose State finally cracks one here in the second half. That's Dusand taking his time on the replay. Again, not the greatest angle. The right-hander low, parallel to the goal. But when you can stay on your legs and stay steady like that and put it cross cage like Dusand did, you can still score from that angle as he gets a nice high five there from Coach Sharushi. They are not going away quietly right now. San Jose State can get stops and try to transition like they just did. They can chip away at this lead.
Sharushi just raving about Dusand on this team. Asked him about who's the guy that doesn't get his flowers.
Yeah.
That should, and he said right away, Dusand, 4-year starter, defensive specialist. He's in charge of locking down the best guy on the other team. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet all the time. Fordham creeping in once again. And just off target. Had a look there from Silvestri. 5:20 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, still a lot of water polo play. You say 5:20 left. That's all kinds of time.
The exclusion. Tioso draws that foul. This has been the missing piece of the puzzle here for the Spartans. Can they convert on a 6-on-5? Bosic at 6 meters. Keatley staring into the sun. Bosic measuring here from the outside. Side's coming even once again. Denied. Field block there. Biro turned back. New shot clock. Bosic throws up a stop sign here. His sides are even. Tries to no-look it and goes off the post. Good idea. Close call.
Tried for the trickery, right? Put up his hand. Hey, slow down. And then no-looks the shot a second later. But note who made that field block on the 5-on-6. That was Toth, making his presence known on defense and now on offense.
It's all clicking for the Fordham Rams and Andras Toth. That's the full Andras Toth experience there.
Right.
Defense into offense.
Yeah. And right on cue what he's doing. But you left him open. Watch Keatley turning his head, looking the other way while Toth is receiving that ball. As our friend Mark Jackson would say, hand down, man down. Tough puts the ball across cage for the 9th Fordham Ram goal.
MVP of the Mid-Atlantic Championship, that win over GW. You won't be surprised to know that his 131 goals is a school record.
Not shocking at all.
And of course, part of the Hungarian national team pipeline, has played at the elite level, the U18 World Championship a couple of years ago. The margin remains 4, 9-5. Pass on the water, and just a look of frustration there from the Spartan bench. Gabor Sharushi calling for time.
It's a perimeter exclusion against Provinciani. Just a heavy foul there on Biros around the neck.
You get the sense they're looking at Gabor Sharushi and his emotions on his face, feeling like his group is a little disconnected. Here's a chance to try to bring them together. Yeah,
good time out there for San Jose State from Coach Sharushi. As you get a look at both benches here. Sharushi a little more animated, a little more demonstrative, trying to beg his team to feel the emotions he's feeling as he draws up a play, particularly here now on the power play advantage. What sort of 6-on-5 can they run? Opposite end here, you get a look at Coach Bacharach, and again, the stoicism, really just keeping it calm, allowing for his athletes to have that energy, right? And I think as a coach, when you can let your team have the energy and you can be the calm in the storm, that's often a formula for success in close games and in high-pressure situations like the one we're experiencing now at the NCAA Championships.
Got the chance to talk with him earlier in the year, and so much hype around Fordham last year. Lots of great news articles and TV features chronicling his journey from the West Coast to the East Coast. And that USC loss still a heartbreaker, but he said certainly some learnings had coming out of last year. If they're in that position again, this is step one, right? To get back into that opportunity to go up against USC again in the semifinal again. It is certainly a different Fordham team in some respects, but all part of their growth as a program. Fresh off the timeout, the one-time tipped in. Keatley bobbled it to himself and then slapped it home. His third.
When in doubt, get the big man the ball. Keatley inside. He showed earlier in the game he scored a goal with his left hand and his right hand. Bobbles it this time. Just shows he has a knack for the ball. So timeout, well executed for the San Jose Spartans there from Coach Sharushi. Needed to happen to stay in this game.
Now 1 for 8 on the power play. So it has been a tough day at the office on the extra man, but they finally get through. With 3.5 to go in the third, they trail 9-6.
You can overcome going 1 for 8 on the power play. The issue there is that one came with 3 minutes left here in the third quarter.
They can turn it around here. No one will care much that they were 0 for 7. Teleponte, bad pass into the corner, and San Jose State will recover. So perhaps something building here for the Spartans. Pressure here from Duke, pushing Sieben out. Plenty of time for the Spartans, 12 on the timer. Pass over the top, a dangerous one, kind of staring into the sun there from that far corner was Bosic, and an easy intercept for Provinciani. Going ahead now. Epa, he's got assistance. Barnabas moving in. One on keeper. Epa stuffed. And that's what Gapyash does for the Spartans.
And they dodge a bullet from a save from their all-star goalkeeper, but a 2-on-1 missed opportunity for Fordham. They're going to want that one back.
Big chance to rebuild the lead to 4. Instead, save San Jose State. 6-on-5 Spartans. Can they make it 2 in a row? Bosic in the corner there. Sieben gives it right back. Birosh! Back-to-back power play strikes. It's a 2-goal game.
0 for 7 on the power play for San Jose State, but it doesn't matter. In their last 2, 2 for 2.
What have you done for me lately, Shamu Birosh?
Just wraps it right around Silvestri. A beautiful wrap there from the Hungarian. Birosh putting it away, and there's a look at this crowd. Right, this does feel like a home game. The energy in the stands, the energy in the arena is around San Jose State. Their alumni, their staff, their faculty, their fans, they all came here on a short trip to Palo Alto to see if their team can advance.
Ordinary. And then something extra. Extra man now for Fordham. And right back, yes, score the goal.
Oh,
San Jose State in complete disagreement here, but officials ruling that a score. Yapyash doesn't believe it.
wow.
Second look here.
Check this out. Let's see what we can see on the replay.
That one won't tell us.
Nope, that's not the one. But there is a line judge here. If you're watching this stream right now, you're saying, who's making this call? There's a line judge down there to help the referee out. Second look in slow motion. Tough to see unless you're parallel with the goal.
This might give you a little idea. Yeah. But again, like you said, John, unless you're on that goal line.
Yeah. See, on that replay, though, it does look like it went in. So oftentimes in water polo, because of the waves that are happening, the ball can go in and come out of the goal very quickly off of that wake. That's what the line judge saw. That's what the referee confirmed. Big goal for Fordham to keep the lead at 3.
That's Provenziani with his 4th. Spartans, they've scored their last 2 6-on-5s. Dangerous ball here into the corner. Bosic on the skip. 3 in a row. On a heater right now on the extra man.
That's what it takes. The Serbian Bosic skips it home. You got to look at the crowd. Packed here at Avery Aquatic Center. 3 in a row. 3 power plays in a row for the Spartans. This time it's Bosic.
Now, in all of that back and forth, important to note that Laszlo Sieben fouled out of this game, so he was excluded last for San Jose State.
Yep.
A starter, the utility from Budapest. He was the last exclusion for the Spartans, so his day is done. The red flag was out on him, but it's a 2-goal game once again.
We talked about the multicultural, the diversity that's in the pool. We called Serbia, we've called Hungary, we've called New Zealand, Canada, France, Malta, Italy, all over the globe here. Exciting game, Greg.
A lot of passport stamps. Toth now. Napolitano. Provenziani. Shot clock expiring. They'll score it right at the buzzer. It's Berenier.
One of those countries we call often in water polo, Hungary. The 3-time gold medalist run in the Olympics. Let's watch if he gets it off. Watch the hand, watch the clock. Just gets it off. Confirmed on the replay. Berenier converting that shot at a low angle. And just when you think we continue to call like Toth's name or Provinciani or Ferrugia, Silvestri, another name pops up for Fordham. Just goes to show you the depth in this roster.
His 28th. Senior from Hungary. Spent some time in the U.S. in the summers playing club for San Diego Shores. Shot clock is off now. 5 seconds left. Another 6-on-5, and this one doesn't go. Fordham is there. Initially signaled a field block, but we might be staying here. And we will. So it did look to be tipped out by Benelo Dupuy. That is the call after everyone started to head the other way. So one more look here for San Jose State.
Oh, wow.
And then another exclusion. So they might want to hang on to this, and they do. See if they can win the sprint to start the fourth. So some confusion there for Fordham. Another exclusion. You can see Brian Bacharach telling Silvestri, whatever's going on, stop it. As we head to the end of the third. So the Spartans will have a chance to win a very important sprint and remain on an important advantage, or Fordham can take the sprint and try to build on their edge. In front now, 11-8. We'll step aside and return with the fourth quarter right here from Stanford Live on NCAA.com. Got to load up on the snacks. Those pouches are clutch.
Yeah.
Hydration, protein, vegetables, all in one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fordham fans staying ready for this fourth quarter. They are leading 11-8. But this is big, John.
Yeah.
Opening sprint here. Spartans got to get this sprint. If they can, they'll have a player advantage.
Yeah, they will. And look for Coach Sharushi and the staff to call timeout. If they can win that sprint. They lose that sprint, that would be a big missed opportunity here as they're down 3 to start the fourth quarter. You know, if they can get this to, they can hypothetically get this to a 2-goal game within the first few seconds of the fourth quarter. Now you're in business. And as we've seen, they've gone 3 for 3 on their last power play opportunities.
So here we go. The sprint for the fourth quarter. Can the Spartans get there first? They do.
They do.
Huge sprint won by San Jose State.
And no timeout.
So they'll play. Still a 6-on-4 for the moment. Keatley. Here comes one. Now back to a 6-on-5. They've hit their last 3 power plays, and then they were blocked. Now they're blocked again. Big stop from Fordham. So they've canceled out the last 2 6-on-5s now for San Jose State.
From none other than Andras Toth again. Just playing great defense inside.
Opening moments, fourth quarter. Winner moves on to meet USC in the semifinal tomorrow. We'll have that for you live right here on NCAA.com. Provenziani. Cross cage, that glances off the frame of the cage, and Kapyash will hunt this down. Moving ahead to Bosic. Keatley drops it off. Good look inside. Tip-tome. Tiozzo.
They didn't get it the way we thought they would off the sprint and the power play, but they still cut the lead to 2. Inside Tiozzo, watching, he's got a defender all over his back. Bereni just smothering Tiozzo, and he still gets it. Taps it home.
Senior 2-meter from Split, Croatia, another place that loves their water polo. And they're in the ball game now, John. 2-goal game here, 6:49. Plenty of time for the Spartans to make one more push.
You know, you want to get your goals off of those power play opportunities, but you know, again, if you can have the defense, the goalkeeper play that San Jose can get sometimes, it can work that way too.
Shot clock to 7. Salapante, Silvestri threads that needle inside, the backhand is stuffed. Kapyash, beautiful save. Turning back Epa.
Epa with a difficult look inside. San Jose State now trying to build some momentum.
Here's Mitchell Keatley. Ordinary. Drops that inside dangerous pass, and playing cornerback there, Silvestri with the intercept. Salapante now. Catch and release, Toth. Shot clock to 10 for Provenziani. Here's Epa with 2. Field block, loose ball. Provenziani's there. Dangerous pass out to the perimeter, but Toth hangs on, and a new shot clock for Fordham.
Big offensive rebound to extend the possession now for Fordham.
Silvestri with 7. Tries to go cross cage a bit there, and instead sails it all the way wide left.
You just missed the frame entirely. Again, San Jose State still has an opportunity here to cut the lead to 1. They can have some control on offense.
Keatley looking for an ordinary, never got it, no whistle. Provenziani with the rip.
Oh.
And then an exclusion. And a timeout from Fordham. Worst case scenario for San Jose State with 4:42 to play.
Oh, the double whammy. You turn the ball over and then get excluded in transition. Oof, just a double punch there. Now Fordham with an opportunity to call timeout and set up their power play. And Keatley was just looking he was looking at the referee, hoping to get a foul. Kept putting his head down, and great defense outside on the perimeter there from Fordham. Provinciani taking the ball away.
Yet late in these games especially, and officials typically don't want to be the ones having as big an impact if they can help it on a game, giving a foul there if there's not a foul, that sort of thing.
Yeah, in general, when we teach perimeter players how to control the ball on the outside, you want to teach them not to look for a foul. You don't want a foul there. In fact, best case scenario there is for you to have your hand on the ball, looking at the goal, being a threat, and then if the defender fouls you, that's a bonus. That gives you a free pass. But not to start with looking for the foul. That's your second option, not your first. Keatley looked for that as first option and ends up turning the ball over.
By California standards, a pretty brisk day here. You see a lot of jackets, sweatshirts. If you're planning to join us for that 6 p.m. game, dress warmly.
But like standing room only on that side. Look, everybody looking to be in the shade, but the rest of the crowd that's over in the sun, that's where I'd be right now. I'd take advantage of that until the sun goes down.
It's funny, you come here in the summer and it's a ghost town up there. People
Correct.
are frantically escaping that side of the stands.
No.
But here in December, it's a welcome location. Benelo Dupuis will get us started here. Coming up on 4.5 to play. Fordham on the advantage. They've scored 4 times on the power play. Along 2 meters, back to the post. Missed connection. Sides coming even. Advantage over a absolute rope to the middle of the cage. That's deflected. Timer to 2 now. Perenziani doesn't realize it. Now he shoots, and it's off the bar and out of play.
Huge stop there for the Spartans in the 5-on-6.
At the halfway point of the 4th quarter. Quarterfinal action here at the NCAA championship tourney. Dusand, pressure from behind, didn't see it. Fordham with the takeaway. Perenziani and Epa come over.
Yeah, the story of this game, if San Jose State can't come back here, it's going to be their front court offense. They have just not been able to generate structure, balance, and fluidity in their front court offense. It just leads to turnovers like we just saw.
Now 3.5 to play. Shot clock winding down again. Here's Toth with 3. Salaponte, he'll let fly, and that is off target. Gapyash letting that one go. And again, Gabor Sharushi will call for time with 3:22 remaining. So if you're the Spartans, if you take us inside this huddle, John, what's San Jose State, outside of stating the obvious, in need of a goal when your front court offense, as you've noted, has been your Achilles heel? How do you push through that?
Now you got to draw something up. This is when you get to set pieces. This is when you get to set plays. Look, the normal flow of our offense has not been working. So you call timeout and you say, what can we draw up that can give us structure while we have time? You know, your set pieces in water polo really do matter. It's these special kind of opportunities, right? When you can get a timeout, draw a set piece up. When you win a sprint, you have a set piece after your sprint. You know, when you have any of these moments where you can add the structure, that's where they can come back here and let's see what they can draw up. And when they have done that in the first half, they got the ball to Keatley inside, right? Either his right hand or his left hand, and he was able to get it into the goal. So let's see what they draw up here. The whiteboard is out, but my guess is the ball ends up in the hands of Keatley at some point in this possession.
And there's the dry erase board for Coach Sharushi. They worked past California Baptist 15-9 to claim their conference crown. Likewise, Fordham over GW 16-9. So these were not nail biters.
No.
That they find themselves in right now.
Yeah, that's a big win for San Jose State to finish off conference play like that. You know, they lost one at UC Irvine on the road on the way towards their conference championship. You know, and still were able to keep it together. That WCC, no easy outs in that tournament, and for them to win the final by that margin shows the kind of firepower they have. They just haven't been able to get the complete game they need now for it to be competitive. Let's see what Coach drew up.
WCC Big West, just absolute gauntlets to get through.
Yes.
Last man standing to reach the NCAA tourney. We'll see UC Davis later on tonight as we come out of this timeout. Spartans down 2, led way back when 3-1. They've been chasing the game since. Birosh, here's Keatley, and that's deflected. Toth again. It's just enough on it to derail that possession, and now Fordham with the edge.
4-on-3 counterattack developing for the Rams.
Salaponte directing traffic. Goes across to Toth. And they might wait for reinforcements. Again, also happy to peel some time off the clock here. They're up 2.
Absolutely. Best of both worlds. Use the clock and try to get a late exclusion, and they just did that.
As you suggested, that's Duke who draws the exclusion. So a 6-on-5 here as Chiozzo goes off. He thought he was the recipient of some physical play. Another power play for Fordham. 2:20 remaining. Provenziani. Salapante! 3-goal lead for Fordham with 2:15 left.
And that could be the dagger, Greg, here in this quarterfinal. Well-executed power play. Look at this. Catch and shoot, Provenziani. Very patient with the ball. Here's what led to it. That late exclusion. Oh, watch that. Almost a headbutt. Ooh.
So Duke looked as if he put his head back into the defender.
Yeah. Ooh. That call could go the other way if seen again. Hard to tell in the moment, of course.
And there's no replay, there's no VAR at the collegiate level, but again, we didn't see what preceded that moment.
Sure.
But that on its own, looking at that, if there was review, you'd imagine a reversal call.
Yeah. In isolation, though, Greg, right?
Correct,
We have
correct.
all these things coming together as players get entangled.
Shot off the mark, and with under 2 to play. Oh, and now, this is the second time we've seen this, where it seemed as if we were headed the other way, and then officials determining that instead it was a tip out by the keeper. So it'll stay here with the Spartans. This is must-score time, and just as I say that, they put it high and away with now 1:53 to go in the fourth.
They didn't get your memo, Greg. You know, you needed a must-score, threw it over the goal, not even on frame. Again, we continue to talk about not being on frame for the Spartans, and now they find themselves in desperation time.
$1:39 to go. Another exclusion.
Yeah.
So again, this is checking all the boxes here for Fordham. Extended offense, more time running off the clock, keeping the Spartans away from their offensive end. With 1:22 left and just not enough time left now for the Spartans as they go into the post. That'll be a penalty.
Yeah.
That's Duke on the inside, draws that 5-meter try. It's our first penalty of this match.
That's right. No, it's Souchet inside, getting the penalty called against him as he's holding the post. And
you know, frustration right now for the Spartans.
Totally.
We look back at that one play. There's no doubt that the defender there was hit into by Duke. So they're looking at that play and thinking that didn't go our way.
Right.
Some things start to kind of stack up here. And that adds to the frustration of the challenges on the offensive end as Andras Toth will put a bow on this one with his third and adds to Fordham's lead with 1:18 to play.
as Toth converts this penalty, just confirms winning the Player of the Game award from my perspective, Greg. Not because of the goals he scored alone, but because of the disruptions on defense, the field blocks, the steals, the leadership. We've seen him slow the game down when it's needed, extend possessions when needed, making the right entry pass when needed. He's made all the right decisions this game in every situation on both sides of the ball. Andras Toth, in my mind, Player of the Game here as Fordham looking to advance into the semifinals for the second year in a row at the NCAA championships.
Save is made there from Bonello Dupuis on the long-range try. Fordham will call for time again. A big cheer from their bench as they know for all intents and purposes they are moving on.
They got the ball. They have possession. Minute 3 left. They can take at least 30 seconds off right now. And as far as I know, there is no four-pointer you can score in water polo just yet.
We have discussed the Rock and Jock basket being lowered down from the heavens. That has not been approved yet in any rules discussion.
It's a shame. I'd like to put that bug in the ear of the rules committee right now. You know, it'd be a fun one to throw in.
Me too. Enlist Bill Bellamy and Dan Cortez to see if they can help push that one over the finish line.
That's right.
13-9, Fordham with 103, and that's a frustrated man right there. Gabor Sharushi, certainly so proud of what has happened with this program. Back to the NCAAs for the second time in the last 3 years. And just couldn't say enough good things about his guys and the way they work together, their attention to their schoolwork. They're the highest team GPA on campus. So there's a lot of things to be happy about when it comes to San Jose State water polo. But early on, they get a 3-1 lead. They can never recapture that efficiency on offense.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, Fordham has that mini 3-goal run in a minute 11.
Yeah.
And that was the crack they needed to push the door open and take control of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. San Jose State, again, like you said, a lot to be proud of. Bringing this program back. All the alumni, all the fans that came out. Conference championship. Really just an opportunity to celebrate the student athletes that have done such a great job this year. But Fordham will be the victors here.
Rams getting some of their reserves on as they spread this around. Soren Jessen has come in. Kyle Thomas. Entry in and the exclusion drawn there from Birosh. 22 seconds left. Spartans got their power play together there for a stretch in this second half. Scored 3 in a row. Save made here as Fordham has brought on their reserve keeper, Christoph McGoin. He makes the stop.
Another timeout for Fordham here.
So they get another timeout there with just 7 seconds left just to gather themselves here, put this ball in play. So McGoin will start the clock. And Fordham, for the second straight year, headed back to the semifinal round. The glow up for this program continues. 5th straight year in the NCAAs and now 2nd straight year to the semifinals as they hold off San Jose State 13-9. Rams improved to 26-3 on the year. Spartans, their year ends at 14-8. As we look back at some of our final numbers in this one, Brendan Yapiash, the standout keeper for the Spartans, 8 saves in cage. On offense, Sam Keatley with 3 goals, did some damage early. Shamu Birosh, 2 goals. And then for Fordham, Matthew Bonello Dupuis, his defense did a lot of good work in front of him, field blocking. He comes up with 4 saves. Andras Toth did it all, defense, offense, 3 goals. Luca Provenziani ends up leading the way with 4. And then Johnny Ferrugia, he had 2 goals early. He had 2 of those 3 in that little stretch that helped push Fordham forward, and they're on their way now to the semifinals. That is going to do it for us here in this one. Up next, UCLA and Princeton in our 3rd quarterfinal. That's coming up at 4 p.m. local time right here on NCAA.com. But for now, for John Abdu, our entire crew, Greg Meskel saying so long. We'll see you back here at 4 p.m. for the Tigers and the Bruins.